does not it's not rotating the way that it should. Okay. Anyway, um, l- let's just wait for because I'm inviting. Oh, damn. Let's actually waiting for. I haven't sent the link yet to to Mark, and I'm supposed to be sending it that link right now. But yon, kind of happy, kind of sad with the Miss Universe, the outcome of the Miss Universe right now, because it was not the kind of competition that I expected. I expected, that kahit papaano, makapasok si Celeste, but I have a theory kung bakit hindi siya nakapasok. So let's just wait muna. Let me just send the link to Mark. This is actually the first time that I'm trying this feature of Facebook, of YouTube, na you can you can share live streams together. So let me just message Mark doon sa link para um, para maka-join siya doon sa ating live stream ngayon. Okay? So I hope konting patience lang on that aspect. Okay, so there. Miss Universe just happened, and we have a new Miss Universe. It's Arbony Gabriel of the United States. We're kind of happy because she was our presumptive Miss Universe in the pageant. Tagal na namin, well, rather me, at tagal ko nang binanggit na Arbony is actually my presumptive Miss Universe. From the time that it was December 23rd, when I said na Arbony is, the kind of winner that I wanted to see in Miss Universe. Siya yung isa dun sa mga girls na ginawan ko ng artwork where kinoronahan ko yung si Arbony together with Amanda and several other girls. I think the artwork that I did with the newly released na crown was actually Arbony, Celeste, I think it was Anna, Amanda, and um, I think it was Germany and Colombia. So there. Uh, Wait, ito, may message ko na ulit si Mark. So anyway, as I was saying, ano muna ako, greet muna ako dun sa mga ano, mga bagong nagpaparamdam. Daniel P. Yuson, I'm actually having two screens with me. So kung hindi ako nakatingin sa camera, pagpasensyahan nyo na. So I have Daniel P. Yuson saying, hello, kasi present na Sir Jason, can't wait for your thoughts on this year's Miss Universe pageant. We have Nancy, sabi niya, it's so painful and heartbreaking. Ping is here as well. He says, hello, Sir Jason. O, di ba? Tama nga, predictions mo. See, uh, there, I think you should be seeing Mark na in our,
Yes, hello everybody. Good afternoon.
yan. Ayan, nagpapakita na siya dun sa screen on my laptop because I have my phone on and the
Yes,
uh,
I'm in transit to Manila
laptop.
right now. So
So, kumusta, Mark? I feel so vindicated with the results because I felt that after all the hate that we got from our first live stream, everything that we said, everything that um everything that we discussed, proven to be true, to be right.
well, to me, like I said to all the haters, thank you. It was a humbling experience, right? So, we're happy that what we said was right and we stood by it, di ba? Hindi tayo nagsasalita ng walang empirical evidence, as they say. So let me actually spot chemist. That's a way to go about it. But another thing is that it's also a humbling experience on their end. I think this is the year that the organization got hold and got tired of all the bickering within the pageant community. We've seen Indonesia fail this year. I'm sad for Anna, Aswing Young, because she did a very good job this year as well. But the Impact Award, that's a consolation for them to take. No? But yes, there's a lot of retrospection that needs to happen in Philippine pageantry right now. Um, an examination, but more than anything,
Oh, okay. Wala si Mark.
yes, I'm
Well,
back.
Mark, you got cut
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Yes, sorry, dead spot lang. Yeah.
Ako naman, I think this is such a bittersweet moment because it felt like we were vindicated, but at the same time, it was so heartbreaking because Celeste probably did what she can with whatever resources that was giving her. I think the key learning here is both on the organization and on pageant fans that
Yeah.
we really have to be very careful what we put out in social media, and at the same time for the org to realize that we need to make sure that whatever accomplishments that our candidates have, we support that. We give in importance on social involvement, community projects of the winners. Something that when they go to the Miss Universe pageant, there is something that they can say with regards to what they have accomplished. What are the things that they can brag about and really say something about with what they have done in their communities, in their personal lives that can be considered, transformational and at the same time exhibits leadership. Kasi ang tingin ko is Celeste is perfect with all the physical properties that
The
you would want for a
face the
winner.
body and everything.
Yes, but she lacked, the resume, or she lacked talking points on what she has accomplished with regards to being a leader, being involved with her community, or being involved with social responsibility projects because she had Mind Nation, she had Save the Children Philippines, and yet we don't see a lot of those on her social media accounts. That would have been,
Yes.
a great boost sana for me for her to advance. At least yung aspect na yun, yung alam natin na kaya natin eh. Hindi lang tayo nabigyan siguro ng opportunity to really show them that this is the kind of thing that we can provide, we can give. And it was a missed opportunity, I think, for Celeste. And we're hoping that it becomes a learning experience for us. Okay. Let's mukhang nag-freeze ulit ang ni Mark. Dali lang. Ayusin ko yung aking camera. So, let me just go through some comments muna habang hinihintay natin si Mark. Okay? Let's go first with Ping. Hello, Sir Jason. Hello, Ping. O di ba tama nga predictions mo? Ramsey says it's an end of an era for Philippines. I think the
Yeah.
end of an era, but rather this is a moment where we need to learn from our mistakes. Okay, Hajiev says present. Hi Hajiev. This USA Miss Venezuela top 2 ko noon, pero got afraid with Dominican Republic during the finals, which I agree. She could have spoiled it for the top 2. Actually, mas masakit puso ko kay Thailand. She worked so hard.
I agree, I agree.
Di
Thailand
ba?
did really, really a whole big
Ayan.
backers, Turkish Airlines are really, really
Oo.
expecting so
Kasi
much.
my problem with Thailand was she looked tired towards the last 4 days, 5 days of the competition. You can see it in her eyes na parang reddish na yung mata niya. So it felt like siguro nabugbog siya masyado ng maraming ginawa prior to the competition. She lost focus, she lost energy. But this is a learning experience as well siguro for Thailand. Okay, tingin pa tayo ng mga comments. Reggie Habib vlog says, mas appreciate ko yung gowns ni USA.
Yes. Rian
Manzar,
Fernandez, congratulations. You have a
I,
winning gown now.
I like the fact that she wore black because this is probably the
Yes.
first time that we've saw Miss Universe in the past, what, 20
In a very
years
long time. In a
white
very,
gown.
very
Oo.
long time. In a very long time. I think the
Yeah.
last time was in the 80s pa. Was it New Zealand or was it Canada in 81, 83, 83, 82? Parang ganun pa
My
yung last
God.
lockdown.
Ibig sabihin ganun na katagal. So,
Ganun tagal.
and I noticed yung spikes sa shoulder ni Miss USA. That was something different. I've never seen a gown that has that, punk goth element in it.
Sorry. Sabi ni Joanna Maris Marinas, Rio Mori wore black Gucci dress pala. But it was so colorful kasi. So,
Oh yes.
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 2007. So
But
we give that. We give
but the
that.
thing kasi may mga it had panels that had color in it. There's like
Yeah.
tomato and lilac in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Pero si
So
Kay
there.
Arbon is full black, full
Yeah.
shimmy,
Yes, full
full on
black.
glamour. Yeah.
Yeah. And even I also noticed some of the stones used in her gown had blue tint on it. So it really complemented the entire outfit. So anyway,
For whatever it is, Rian, congratulations.
yes.
You
I think
deserve it, Rian.
I think this is the year that will be remembered as the year where Filipino designers took more triumphs over the actual Filipino candidate. Kasi I felt that Ian, Leo Almodal, and Louis Pangilinan to a certain degree really put the Philippines in the Miss Universe map in terms of fashion. So I think this is also good exposure for our Filipino designers because it allowed us to have like become a destination for pageant gowns. It also opens up businesses for these designers that when competition, when international pageant girls would want something for their wardrobe for whatever pageant that they are competing in, they would think of the Filipino designers as go-to designers. Ayan. Um, Ping is Ping is actually come again?
Kanya-kanya na kay
Nag,
Malta.
choppy yung ano mo, Mark. Okay, I'll read muna siguro itong comment ni Ping. Ping says, Sir Jason, what's your take on Thailand? She has a strong backstory, napakalakas ng gown niya, na nag-represent ng sustainable fashion at ang may-ari ay Thai. What's your take, Mark? Something's wrong with this internet. It's really, ayan. Okay, Mark, I think may comment dito si AJ Paay. Sabi niya, Philippines and Vietnam lang di pumasok sa list ko. Good afternoon, Sir Jason and Sir Mark. Oh, I forgot. Let's not blame Celeste but the MUP org. Priorities, guys. Ping is asking, what's our take daw on Thailand? She has a strong backstory, napakalakas ng gown niya na nag-represent sustainable fashion at ang may-ari ay Thai. I think why
Yeah.
Anna didn't make it is probably has to do with the way that she tired in the competition proper. It felt for me that maybe she was not able to focus that much during the interviews because she had so much to do, so much public appearances leading to the registration and fittings themselves that I felt that um, she was so focused on a lot of the things that she needs to be done because of probably requirements with sponsors, mga ganyan, mga arrangement with sponsors that she actually feels lost during the entire competition na parang she's just doing it for the motions, without really strong focus on what she has to to do. In fact, I just earlier before this live stream, I was looking at her Miss Universe Thailand performance during the preliminaries of the MUT. I felt that compared to her performance during the finals or preliminaries pala of Miss Universe, um, Anna was having a better, a better moment at MUT preliminaries rather than the NU preliminaries. Mark, somebody's asking us about Miss Thailand. So, what's your thoughts?
Hello, can you, yeah, am I back?
Ang hirap ng ganito.
Yeah.
Nawawala siya bigla. Ako din nawawala. So anyway, sige, let me just go through muna the comments
Sure.
in the ano okay, nasaan na ba? Ah, Nasaan ba tayo? Renji Habib. Sabi niya, mas appreciate ko yung gowns ni USA. Manong Dar, is the end of the Philippines straight attributed to the org? What do you think? I don't think it's the end. I think we need to recalibrate.
Is it? It's recalibration. It's a wake-up call lang. I mean, kahit naman Venezuela, this is 2004 at tingin ko, no, when Ana Karina Anyes failed to proceed in the top 15 that year. So 2005 they placed naman with Monica Spear, no? Rest in peace to the woman. Pero ganun, I think this is another moment for the Philippines similarly. I think we're gonna have to rethink our choices, our options, our timing. Pag nag-pre gano'n kaaga, and importante talaga yung camp affiliation at yung protection that it gives the girls. Because from 2016 to 2019, we saw how secured the Mrs. Philippines then because yung binibinig camp up the Miss Universe camp are the same people. So the planning is consistent. I think I mean, we're not shading anybody, no? Pero nakita natin sa the shifting is harming the girls' chance. Of course, ang hirap kasi para sa girls na nagbabago ka ng team, tapos hindi ka comfortable doon, di kayo same ng vision. We hate to say the Catriona model, but I mean, you don't have to copy her, but just follow how she formed it. and that allows you to really shine, no? The best. So, yun, siguro we have to consider that in the next years, kung ano yung national teams niya, be consultative, be collaborative, and I think the winning streak might be back again.
Yeah, and I think that's also, that's also valid because the team that you have established at the nationals are most likely the kind of persons that you are comfortable working with, or at least you already
Absolutely.
had a working relationship with. So communication would be easier. They understand each other's vibes more likely. So I think the mere fact that she shifted. Gears towards the Miss Universe organization, there was probably
Yeah,
a learning curve between her and
a
her
lot.
new designers, new team, perhaps, which allowed errors to slip into the cracks. So
Totoo, totoo, totoo.
you mentioned a valid point on that.
Totoo yun. So, yun, ako naman to Celeste, I think what she needs to do, and this is out of the way now, no? Ayun nga,
Mm.
no, relax. You have a whole life ahead of you. I think you have a bright future. We said it before, and we'll say it again. I think she will
Yeah.
really have a lot of things to do, a lot of work coming her way upon her return to the country. So, yun, congratulations still. It was a good representation naman. But to the organization, alam mo, these are people who knows what they're doing, and they should know what they're doing. Diba? They've been there for such a long time, so it's normal that the
Mm.
expectation was pretty high. Pero syempre, they're not perfect all the time. So, malay lang natin, this is just another hiccup on the road. But sana they get back on track easily. Because kung
Mm.
matagal-tagal pang franchise sa kanila, marami-rami yung
Oo.
pagsasamahin. We don't want this precedent to follow.
Yeah. And this is also probably a time for us to reflect on how we do package our girls. How do we, review their resumes, their accomplishments? Because basing on the girls this year that who made top 16, dun sa videos nila, they were able to say something about what they have done in their personal lives, what they have done in terms of academics, about community involvement, about social responsibility projects. So in terms of resume, in terms of accomplishment, they have something to offer to the organization. It cannot be that the only thing that you can offer to organization is only the physical na aspect, because nowadays, based on the transformational leadership that An had kept on insisting throughout her interviews from the time she purchased the Miss Universe organization, it was very repetitive. It was, a message that should have been drilled on everybody, that there is now a type of person, a mold, that the organization, that the new owners is looking for in a Miss Universe winner. And they want someone who is accomplished, someone who has dedicated time and effort and energies on, I don't know, helping people who are domestically abused, having a very sustainable fashion thrust, or something that is, bigger than themselves. I think that's one of the things that is a key takeaway, not only for the Philippines, but for
Who,
Indonesia, for
who just
Thailand.
happen to be beautiful as well.
Yeah, it's not just a
Totoo. Sorry, yeah,
learning.
yun, tama. I agree with you.
It's not just a teachable experience for us, but for every pageant country as well. Right. Okay.
Totoo. A lot of countries should learn about this experience. So, even our neighbors, Indonesia, Thailand, I'm sad for Cambodia nga, sayang sana nakalusot siya, no?
Oo.
Because we're also
Oo.
hopeful for Manila. Pero nag-gets ko na rin yan kasi when I saw the
Okay. I think nag-freeze ang ni Mark. While we're waiting for him to come back, let's just go over some comments. Macy Castro says Miss USA first time I admire her, her beautiful and talent.
Yeah.
She's beautiful and talented, so amazing. First time Miss USA, happy. She's a great designer, beautiful gown. I am gold international since I'm a Filipino American and I'm proud Miss USA winning Miss Universe 2022. Congratulations. Okay, Joanna Marie's mentioned a very important na point here about importante din yung creative freedom ng mga candidates. So what do you think, Mark?
Totoo.
Creative inputs, creative freedom.
Totoo. Totoo yun. I totally agree. I mean, si Arboni is a testament in itself. Kita mo naman, di ba? She created her wardrobe. Hands-on siya with Patrick Isorena for that national costume. Um, I'm pretty sure the collaboration with Brian is has a lot of her personal touch sa gusto niyang mangyari at suot, you know, the drama that she puts into her dresses and her wardrobe. I think totoo, and the creative freedom is really, really essentially vital because your transition of who you are as a person towards your competition. So, dapat more of what they want, who they are with their campaigns.
Oo. Kasi nakita natin, best example talaga si Catriona kasi she had all the creative freedom on the way na nilatag niya yung kanyang story. Her campaign was flawless. I think that was something that we should have at least perfected by now. The ability to, to allow the candidate, to allow our girls to take, liberties on are the things that they want to include in their Miss Universe journey. I think that's one of the things that I felt we got a little bit sidetracked on
Off track.
with Celeste. I think that yes, perfection on the physical aspect, but what are the things to bring into the competition with regards to having creative freedom on wardrobe, what to speak about, her campaign should be built upon. I think doon tayo nagkaroon ng shaky na grounds. And this is also why I am very careful to include Celeste in my list. That she is always, within the perimeters of
Naramdaman.
within the top seven, top eight,
We
because I really felt something that there's something missing in, not in Celeste,
lacking.
but in her campaign, in the holistic
Campaign.
approach to the campaign.
Campaign.
Yeah, because
So,
I like
at saka it doesn't help. Sorry, it also doesn't help. No, we've seen a lot of beautiful dresses, no, na she could have worn to the competition. Alam mo, the shoulda, coulda, woulda moment is something na hindi dapat nagkakameron ang any girls competing. You should be sure and certain that it is your best. No? So, kasi the questions will leave you harmed and scarred no, of the experience. So, sana mas naging decisive na tayo about what we want about her and what she wants about
yeah.
her campaign as well.
Yeah. And okay, there's a comment here uh, from Vice Panda. I remember you mentioned you base your top 15 in the resume sa profile sa website. I checked some of them. For me, there is nothing extraordinary with Haiti, Laos, Canada, Trinidad, and Tobago. So, what's your take on it? Kasi I think you've mentioned Trinidad and Tobago and Haiti. On my end, I've mentioned Trinidad and Tobago in one of my blog posts about her being
Trinidad and Tobago is in my
uh,
top. I'm consistent about Trinidad and Tobago. The moment I saw Wendy and I saw how Trinidad performed, I'm sure she's gonna be in.
yes, and I also think that probably some of the things that we didn't see in the interviews was factored in their selection of the semis. So um,
Yes.
however, I would think that because of the resumes of Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and USA, as well as yung abilities to speak ni South Africa, yung SOS Agua, SOS Water campaign ni Colombia, uh,
Colombia.
I think unquestionably, they brought something in their resume, in their profiles, into the competition. So
That
in
the
that
world
aspect,
understands as well.
yeah, in that aspect, I think we were right about accomplishments, about advocacy, or rather community involvement, leadership, and service to their community being a part of something that was palatable to the judges apparently. So ibig sabihin, those things matter to them. And the funny thing kasi here, Mark, is that si Paula Shogart mismo, she downplayed advocacy, the word advocacy, in the selection process. However, uh, nabanggit niya dun sa pagda-downplay niya na kinakailangan genuine and bukal sa loob yung social responsibility projects ng mga girls. So maybe it's not on whether the advocacy is heavy or not, but rather how invested the candidate is with regards to her social advocacy na project. What do you think?
Yeah, again, that's an extension of yourself. If that's representative of how you will be once you started working for the organization. So kung masipag ka sa advocacy mo, with or without the lenses or the eyes of the world, then that translates to them and believes that you could also do the same thing and probably better once you get all of the crown. And that's way beyond you. So it really is a point to prove, no, in some part of the competition. So it's really, really important to think about when we select the next girl, I think in the competition, sana somebody who's been starting on the advocacy much early on. So para mas madaling mapanindigan.
Mm.
Hindi nga lang siya for the show
Uh-huh.
kind of
Yeah,
messaging.
I agree on that. Especially dun sa aspect na it has to be something there even before she starts competing at the national, so that it looks, or rather, the optics of it makes it look like this is something that she does wholeheartedly, genuinely, and it's not something that is put on for show or put on just for the fact that she needs to have something in her resume to pad it up. So authenticity is not something that you can easily fake, and it's something that a lot of people would think that they can just get away with, with an advocacy or with a social responsibility program or community project, just by showing up here and there and not really being emotionally and wholeheartedly invested on it. And I think yun yung yun yung isa sa mga advantages ni Arbony, because she really uses her you know uh, teaching, uses her yung kanyang talents on teaching women who are victims of domestic abuse and violence. Kaya alam mo yun, it really tied it up doon sa kanyang entire journey. Hindi drawing lang, o ba hindi lang hinugot kung saan-saan yung advocacy na project na yan. Kundi it was there from the very beginning. It was something that she's passionate and volunteers her time, her efforts, at hindi yung kinakailangan meron tayong mailagay sa resume natin at mapag-usapan.
Ikaw, I
Oo.
agree with that. So, need not say more kasi parang alam naman nila lahat yun. So alam na ng marami yun. The moment they say transformational leadership. So take note.
Yeah. Okay, there's a comment here. Mary Blanco says Miss Venezuela was the clear winner and should have won. What do you think about
Well, she is a potential winner. I mean, a lot of pageant pages was able to put her as number one. I remember halos 90% wanted Amanda Dudamel to be the winner, but
Yes.
I never had her as number one, diba? She's always number two, three, four to me. I was even rooting simply because of consistency. So I think Amanda is also consistent. But nung huli, before, okay, the moment she went to New York last year, she was my outright winner. Sobrang gusto ko siya doon. Kasi I think that's so natural, so young, so fresh. That's not a Venezuela kind of woman that you usually see, di ba? Now that she went to New Orleans, medyo naramdaman ko yung a little bit of manufactured Venezuelan touch.
Uh,
Um, the moment that happens, it doesn't seem so real to me now. So, di
mm,
ba parang nabawasan? Parang part of it medyo nagkaroon ng mechanical aspect yung kampanya niya. But it's still, she was able to deliver her message clearly, its relatability with the judges. They liked her advocacy, fashion pa rin. Nag-get to it sila ni Arboni because you know what, in the Q&A, ako I'm biased towards Dominican Republic. If Dominican won over Arboni, I wouldn't complain. Because I think she gave an equally deserving answer. But for Venezuela, it's more like, mas personal nilang sinabi, oh, because this is what I'm doing eh. Kaya I feel like I am this and you are that, or I am this and this is what I can do. Kasi, wala na sa sarili lang nila. Ay, mas kapalipad-wala yung when you say that to the judges. Instead of like creating a whole new world of perfection that you would think you can be able to pull off, and that's not real, diba? And people can smell bullshit from afar. Let's get that real. And by this point, at this point, when top three Q&A, I think Arboni was just able to deliver the real responsibilities she did. She did not use the phrases na that can highfalutin. I'm a designer of dreams. Because what? What made you designer of dreams? What did we see, diba? Although you've worked
mm,
in a company that allows you to. Pero people, I think, even the judges was able to read the bio ahead of time, even JKN with a portfolio, they might have seen some videos of them doing interviews with celebrities, and they might have seen some videos of them
on, okay. Um, Mark, I think nag-freeze na naman ang camera mo. Okay, I think let's just wait for Mark to. But on my end, in terms of yung whether Venezuela should have won, I think that Venezuela and USA have been neck and neck from the very beginning of the competition. I think it's just a matter of preference. Who do you like in terms of beauty, in terms of their story? However, during the finals, the moment that Arbony talked about increasing the age limit to, because if there's one thing that she wants to
yun.
change in the Miss Universe organization, that for me was a winning answer. I think that for me sealed the deal
And
that okay, this is the
again,
one
she
that I
related
want
to
to.
herself eh.
Yes, and also Mark, I think
Yes.
we need
She
to
used herself as an
stress
example
upon.
as well. So
Oo, and we need to stress upon the inclusivity push of the Miss Universe organization, and that is exactly something that I think the Miss Universe organization can actually take action on na pwede nilang increase the age limits of the Miss Universe organizations,
guilty.
requirements. I think Miss Supranational have increased their age limits, so why not Miss Universe? If Miss Universe is actually, advocating for inclusivity, and for me, I would have appreciated if they immediately increase the ages first before including mothers. Unwed mothers, divorcees, and married women into the competition. I think Arbony voicing that out. That is something that everybody is thinking about, talking, behind the scenes. That was for me something that a Miss Universe should be advocating for. Something about ageism. This is something that Olivia Jordan, I believe, was very adamant about because again, when she won Miss USA, people were criticizing her for being old at 26 at that time or 27. So maybe we need to open our conversations about that aspect, and perhaps Olivia Jordan being, being a judge during the prelims, siguro isa rin yun sa mga reasons niya kung bakit nakapasok sa semi si Arbony, or it could be, it was for me, a good tie up between a judge a judge's perspective on ageism and her perspective on ageism as well.
Totoo. And I think now Arboni is officially the oldest Miss Universe crowned at the moment on the age. So I think ageism also affects a lot of women, no? And in any industry na it limits them from achieving their goals or becoming the best versions of themselves. I think this is a strong message to send about.
Okay, Hajian says, I guess more focus on advocacy and being very visible.
Alam na
Kasi
natin,
si US
yes.
and Venezuela, paulit-ulit about sustainability and they have walked the talk talaga. So it was clear
Yes.
what their platforms are. I think
Yeah.
that's a very on point na observation kasi um, you cannot say that you're advocating or you're advocating for something without being visible doing that exact same thing that you're advocating
Run.
about in
Yes.
'di ba?
Totoo.
And
Yun, I
then there
agree,
is
agree.
also
I,
a
I can
saying,
say more. Yun na yun. Totoo. Clear naman eh.
oo, and there's also a thing that they say on movie critics na mga movie criticism na show don't tell because action speaks louder than words.
One words.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
here's another comment from Ting. Another thing we can learn from this experience is that Pinoy fans should be more open-minded na kapag hindi napapasok sa top choices ang Philippines ay nagagalit kayo at kontrabida agad ang tingin. I think it's just that maybe nasobrahan tayo ng passion about pageants that we forget the differences between opinions actually enriches the conversation.
Ako wala na akong sasabihin about that. As somebody who grew up in the 90s at naranasan ng dark ages, we're humble, we're appreciative. I don't know about the rest. So I think
Yeah.
life teaches you
Wait,
hard.
oh my God, Mark, I remember pala nung 90s, mas mahirap palang papasok sa semis ng 90s because
Top
there
10
are
yun
on
ah.
section
10
10.
agad yun.
Yeah. 'Di ba ang sakit kaagad nung like you can have like 80 candidates or 84 or 90 candidates and then they're only like selecting 10. Mas masakit 'yon
No,
na
10-5, 10-5-3 ang cut
yeah.
no 90s.
Yes. And originally I grew up with the 12 semifinalists that was in 89 mga 89
89,
92
88,
ganyan.
87, yes. The 12-6-5, the 12-6-3. I think the 12-6
Yes.
pot, no? Oo, 12-6 pot.
Yes.
Tapos ako,
And then
nasanay naman ako, na-develop yung aking pageant enthusiasm sa 10-5 na selection process.
me me naman I grew up with the 10-6-3 na cut.
Hmm.
And I remember 1993 nanonood kami ng Miss Universe ng batch ni na Dayanara Torres and it kept on having brownouts throughout the evening nung pinapanood namin. And really it shows
Formal.
it shows that um pageants evolve in kung minsan the things that we've seen in the 90s we're seeing a coming back in nowadays because in the 90s there were so much candidates who were very well accomplished who made top 10 and I remember Lola Odisoga being the first black woman from Finland to win the
Finland.
crown and compete in Miss Universe. And then the same thing with Denny Mendez. Those kinds of accomplishments, breaking barriers, are the things that we were so very much accustomed to
Yeah.
in the 90s. And Wendy Fitzwilliam being a law student at that time was really very impressive, right?
And in India, the Indias, no? The Indias has been, Miss Indias
Exactly.
has been given excellence from 1990 to 1999, actually to
Yeah.
2002. Because up to Neha Dupia, I love the girls that we've been sending. I think a little bit in 2000 they attempted with Tanushri Duta. I love that too. But nag-wane down talaga yung power eventually. But they were the queens of 1990s. held at
Oo.
so
Okay, there is more comments coming in. Jeff Tuna was agreeing sa atin, new era talaga, it's anybody's game. Nakakatawang pangalan nito, Mark. Ang name niya is The Twink. I agree po. Next rep should have a strong advocacy na hindi gawa-gawa lang. Sana magising ang org, baka need nilang magnilay-nilay sa title na ano to, Queenmaker. Um, Daniel Wilson saying next year most country in El Salvador. Mas magiging mahirap kaya for the Philippines to get noticed dahil Latin. What do you think about that?
yes, mas mahirap. Um, El Salvador, although the last time it was held in El Salvador, 1975, we were drop. I do not know the
Yeah.
climate right now, if it's going to be the same. I was able to talk to Miss Chiki Brosas in 2016. I was lucky to have that experience, a bit of peak and experience in El Salvador in 1975. But 2023 is a different ball game. I think we'll see a strong chance Venezuela might be kicking some heels this time. So redemption curve nila to. We see girls like Colombia, Peru, na, di ba, we thought El Tupulo, now she's reigning in the top 10 likely sa tingin ko with this her performance earlier. So we'll see more of that feistiness coming back this year.
Okay. May mga nakakalapit ako dito sa tawag nito dito sa stream. Sorry about this. Anyway, there's a comment here from G Manila, doctor, lawyer, or engineer for the next MUPH. Uh,
Not necessarily, not necessarily. Just need a woman who's of a social movement and background, no? So actually, tinanong tayo kung hindi si Celeste who would be in the top 5 of the current MPPH. I think we said Paulina Milinks, no? To some extent, she could make it. A lot of girls in the Binibini roster can even deliver that pizzazz, oomph, and power. Um, I think Gabi Basiano can have few more years and can pull this through. Marami-rami pa tayong names na pag-uusapan tungkol dyan. I think we should have a Binibini and MUPH opener again. The year review for 2023 pageant.
and
Exactly.
here's the chismis. Apparently daw, si Nicole Borromeo was supposed to be sent to Miss Universe Philippines. And then they change it last minute. Nagkaroon ng parang change of hearts, maybe. And she was sent to Binibining Pilipinas. So,
She will lose in MUPH if she's competing that same year. Good decision on Nicole. Perfect siya sa Binibini.
yeah, looking at it kasi, parang I felt that you're right when you mentioned that there's a lot of girls at the Binibining Pilipinas roster that could have been great reps to Miss Universe as well. But hindi nangyari yun. We had to deal with the cards that we're dealt with, and it just so happened that medyo payat yung roster ng MUPH when it
Yeah.
comes to the level of candidates. I would have wanted sana if we're talking about accomplishments, maybe Victoria Vincent could have been appointed for
Victoria
Miss Universe this
Vincent.
year because it
Siguro
would
to
have
some
been.
extent, baka Shella Liman also can also pull that up, di ba? Who
Mm,
else? Yung mga mabibigat ng konti, yung kaya pang
yeah.
develop yung kanilang
Yeah.
social causes, marami-rami pa. If
Yes.
Gazini competed this time, I think this would be a good chance for her to make it.
Yeah.
Um,
Because she's a advocate for elderly care. And marami siyang
you know what?
nagawa on that front.
Totoo. You need somebody like Nicole Cordoves to bring there. You need the personality
Yeah.
and energy like Nicole, a catwalk like Catriona, and a beauty just like
Yes.
anyone Filipina na talagang stand out. Yun ang formula
Yes.
feeling ko na pwede.
Yes. Someone who is holistically strong. Not just strong on one front. I
Yes.
think yun
Well,
yung
I hate to I hate to to cut the pero 2% na lang yung battery ko, but I'm so happy.
Okay.
Siguro on a more opportune moment kung may live tayo ulit namin, that would be better. So to all the fans who's listening right now, thank you. Congratulations. Arboni again. Maraming salamat.
Okay, sige. Thank you, Mark, for joining us. I'll take
Bye.
over from here.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's continue without Mark, and let's focus on some of your comments because I think they have a lot of comments here that is worth reading. Oh, Vice Panda, thank you very much for the generosity. Thank you. We have okay. Let's go through the comments. Medyo nalito na ako kung nasaan na tayo sa comments. Dorothy B. Jones, it may take 3 years, sabi niya, tawag nito, to get an ideal Philippine candidate. Not that we do not have one ready, just that we are experienced pageant fatigue and confusion, LOL. In what mold will the gift fit in? Will the girl fit in? Ayan. I think yes. We need to start planting the seeds nowadays. We need to educate our pageant girls that if you want to become Miss Universe, you want to become a representative of the Philippines for Miss Universe, you start to be involved with your community, to be involved with the passion projects that you are, that you want to do, and start building up your pageant resume. Start building up, your community involvement, so that when it comes to the Miss Universe stage, there is something that you can bring about and talk about with regards to what you have accomplished so far. You have something neater to offer to the table, to offer to the organization, because perhaps they want someone who has enough life experience, whether you're young, you're at your 19, 20 na age, or whether you are in your 26, 27 na age group. You need to be able to bring something into the table na you can talk about, you can do throughout your reign, so that there is a platform for you to talk about these, passion projects that you are really, involved and passionate about. Okay, Rodvin Fiel saying na laking blow sa local branding ng MUPH. Ang arrogant ba naman kasi ng dating ng MUPH na ayaw ng input sa fans? Know when to pick mantra na di na applicable and napaka-fabricated na winner. Rodvin Fiel, I think hindi lang sa organization din ito nagfo-fall in, but it also falls in um, to both the org, the pageant girls joining the competition, and to the fans as well. We need to be able to exude positive energy, because I think that is one of the things that Amanda Dudamel brought into the competition. That despite all the negative thoughts from her bashers, from her detractors, uh, she never allowed that to shake her confidence or shake her compass. Kumbaga, she knows where is the true north, where is her true north pointing towards to, and she kept her nose straight to the direction that she wants to do. Okay. Mark Gonzalez. Hi, Sir Jessen and Mark. When Haiti and Laos was called, I had a feeling that we might not reach top 16. Also, I noticed that the strong frontrunners who entered semis were the ones who reached top 5. I think for me naman, Mark, when sa top 10, hindi pa natatawag si Celeste. I knew that we are not gonna make it na. Kasi from the beginning of the day last or night, kagabi dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, I was looking at a lot of feedback on what are the pageant pages are posting in terms of who are they looking at as a winner. And halos lahat ng nakikita ko, majority of them are actually pointing out towards Miss Venezuela as their number one pick. Miss USA is there in the top five, but not necessarily consistently in the top five among all of these pageant pages. When I was looking at the placement of Miss Philippines, it ranges from the top five, top two, down to the top eight, top seven, top nine, or top 10. And I think that was an indication for me that a lot of pageant pages are not seeing Celeste as a possible winner. They probably think that she's a strong competitor, but not necessarily a strong front runner for the crown. So um, I had a very bad feeling coming into the start of the pageant itself that we might not place. And with a strong looking at the videos of the girls who made um, top 16, they were really video packages on what they have done for their communities. That kind of that kind of like communication from the Miss Universe organization that these are the accomplishments of these women who made top 16. It made me feel like okay, there's a strong possibility na hindi tayo makapasok dahil I haven't seen Celeste or the Miss Universe organization, Miss Universe Philippines organization themselves na is out there and really putting into everybody's collective psyche na ito yung mga charitable na mga institutions na they are volunteering with, that they are working with. These are the accomplishments that they've done on the community involvement part. So I think that was a missed opportunity for us, and it is a learning moment for us that um, we need to start paying attention on that aspect of project preparations as a whole. Um, Dorothy V. Jones, this is a good learning experience. I agree. Rocking the standards and definitions of the pageant world makes for more eligibility and brave hearts. I'm excited to see what awaits us. Thank you for for pointing that out, Dorothy V. Jones, because it really is a different ball game nowadays. The new owner definitely wants something different, something new in her pageant. So she is really very adamant about the type of winner that she wants to look into and really give spotlight into. So ibig sabihin, we start to learn from these mistakes, from these errors that we've had with our preparations, and not just looking at Celeste, but looking at key learning experiences from Rabia to Bea to now with Celeste, and find where we can improve on. Okay. Albert Rimorin, but if is saying, okay, comment niya ni Albert. But if Gazini, if she will enter top five, I think she will have a hard time to surpass it. Um, I guess resume weighs so much this time. Maybe it's 70-30 system. Albert, the thing kasi is, if we are going to send uh, Gazini ngayon, there is perhaps a stronger possibility that she might make top 16 because of the work that she has done for not only the Binibining Pilipinas charities organization, but also with her personal advocacy on elderly care. Kasi when Gazini was Binibining Pilipinas Universe, maraming charities that she was involved with that is tied up with Binibini. Like yung, I think at one point they had some uh, uh, projects for animal welfare, and they had mga hospital visits with wounded armed forces na mga soldiers. So there's a lot of charitable works that she can bring into her resume, add it up there, and really be something that she can talk about in terms of what she's done in terms of uh, community and social responsibility projects. Um, okay. Medyo nawala yung mga ibang mga comments. Uh, JZA. Let's be honest, weak ang credentials and communication skills ni Celeste. The closed door interview might have a big weight. The top five magagaling ang communication skills and also pasarela. JZA, I am not sure if we can fault yung communication skills ni Celeste because I think naman she is able to communicate. I think she can express her thoughts, her opinions, very, very well. I just don't think na siguro dahil nag-iba yung timpla ng hinahanap ng organization ngayon, hindi tayo nakapag-react or hindi tayo nakapag-calibrate immediately doon sa hinahanap nila. So maybe, that's a learning opportunity for us. Mark Gonzalez is saying, DR's strategy worked to her advantage. Almost no pre-pageant updates, but when she arrived, she did. She picked at the right moment and surprised us in a pleasant way. I think Dominican Republic's Andreina Martinez is the correct definition of what do you call this, of know when to peak, because she really started, getting attention days before the preliminaries. And then sinundan niya yun ng very strong na showing on the preliminary competition at the swimsuit and evening gown. And then during the rehearsals, everyone saw her with that, very daring na na gown for the rehearsals. And then pagdating ng mismong competition proper, she was able to communicate in such a way that we suddenly felt that she could actually bring home the crown. So I think that is the correct definition of know when to peak, because she was consistently moving up the scale. It's not yung magpipeak ka ngayon and then walang energy sa mga susunod na mga araw. And then magpipeak ka ngayon and then walang energy sa susunod na araw. That's not, consistency. What you want to do is to have a trajectory that it is continuously moving upwards and upwards. Not necessarily, you start strong and then unti-unti nawawala yung energy mo, because I think that is one of the reasons why Thailand didn't, make it top 16, because the energies were high at the beginning and it just slowly faded. That's the opposite of what happened to Andreina. So kudos to her and to her team. Daniel Piusa. Sir Jason, do you see the Philippines sending a strong African Filipina representing our country someday? Yes. Perhaps I'm hoping that it happens, somewhere in the near future. When I say near future, siguro mga within 5 years. Sana makahanap tayo ng candidate na ganun kalakas, na kayang makipagsabayan with, with those, more accomplished and well spoken na mga girls from Europe, from the more, industrialized countries, from the more pageant crazy countries. Lemuel 235. Hello, Lemuel. Hello, Sir Jason. The results were not favorable for our queen. Let this serve as a lesson, but this will be a wake up call at the same time to recalibrate for 2023. I kind of agree about that. JZA, Triple V, Victoria Velasquez Vincent might have been the best for her unique advocacy, and this time polished na her pasarela. That is why I am hoping that she returns this year, because maybe it's her caliber, that kind of caliber of a candidate is the one that is needed for Miss Universe 2023. At least we have learned from our experience now in 2022, the 71st edition of Miss Universe, on what we are supposed to look for in a queen. Lemon 23.5. If we are going to send someone strong, I bet Michelle D and Bella Ismael would be perfect choices, given that these ladies are very much involved, hands-on with their respective charities. Lemuel, I still think that Victoria Velasquez Vincent would have been a much better choice. Vice Panda, I think aside sa charitable works, kailangan good communication skills din, kasi narinig ko nabanggit yan nung host prior to the question and answer. Vice Panda, I am telling everyone from the very beginning, from December 29 doon sa unang tawag nito, doon sa unang live stream namin ni Mark where we really gotten a lot of hate, not just from fans but even also from some pageant pages, from vloggers, YouTube vloggers, with regards to our opinion na hindi namin isinama si Celeste doon sa top 7 namin na pick. Although we explained in our live stream that Celeste is sitting comfortably, at the edge at number 8. We only selected 7 each kasi we all mahaba yung live stream namin na yun. It took us mga 1 hour and 30 minutes and tigpipito pa kami noon. How much more kung tig sa 10 kami, baka umabot kami ng dalawa't kalahating oras. And doon sa live stream na yon, we were already explaining to everyone the need to look at the girls' profiles, what they are bringing into the table. Because it's not a coincidence that the owner, Kun An, kept on reiterating the transformational leader na phrase over and over and over. And if by then, we still haven't gotten that message, hindi pa nag-register sa atin yung message na they're looking for something different because they've kept on insisting that this is the kind of Miss Universe that they're looking for. They're looking for a transformational leaders, a transformational queen. Then we need to look at, okay, ano ba yung resume ng mga girls na to? What are the accomplishments? What can they bring to the table that is unique, that fits into that mold? And I think that is where we missed. That is where nakulangan tayo. Kasi we were so insistent that we had, probably because of the 12 years that we have been continuously placing at Miss Universe, we develop, a kind of tunnel vision na ito lang ang tinitignan natin without looking at the peripherals of what is the possibilities that the organization is looking at. And yes, it is good that we have focus, but it's also bad that kapag nilawakan na nung owner or ng organization yung mga hinahanap nila when it comes to the winner in terms of accomplishment, in terms of what they have been doing in their communities, what have they have contributed to society. Hindi natin nilalawakan yung tinitignan natin. We're just still being focused on that kind of one focused only. So that is the area na we got blindsided on because we didn't look at the peripherals. Ito yung pagkakataon na kinakailangan lawakan natin yung pangunawa natin na hindi tayo um, masyado dekahon, that we don't act like horses with side blinders, and not look at the possibilities that they are probably looking for something different. The mere fact that they keep on insisting, telling us what is the kind of winner that they're looking for, they keep on, you know, um, reverberating and keep on uttering the same phrase of transformational leadership, doon tayo hindi nakinig sa kanila. So doon tayo nagkaroon ngayon ng blind sight, and that is what cost us a spot in the Senate. Okay, Vice Panda, that's very insightful na comment from me because it allowed us to explain, our point of view kung bakit ganun na lang yung insistence namin ni Mark to start paying attention to the profiles of the girls, kung ano yung kaya nilang dalhin sa Miss Universe na table. Okay. Chris Saligan, grabe, okay. Chris Saligan, I think you're new here. This is the first time that I've heard or I've seen you comment in our live stream. Thank you, welcome. Okay, ang comment ni Chris, grabe po, dinig niyo po si Nostradamus when you predicted Arbony winning. Pero for me, nung nakita ko ang performance niya sa prelims, nasabi ko, talagang baka siya ang next Miss Universe. The thing kasi, Chris, even if there were issues and rumors about pageant rigging at the Miss USA pageant, I don't think that is a reflection on Armini. We should be able to separate the girl versus the organization, because I think what happened at Miss USA is the fault of the organization. Hindi dapat nadadamay si Arbony because what the organization did or did not do, whether it was fair, whether it was not fair, um, it is not something that Arbony was have a direct hand on. Um, and with with the third party na investigating the alleged fixing or rigging or unfair competition, and they found that there's nothing wrong in that aspect, then I think Arboni is warranted with her win now as Miss Universe because even from the time that Arbon won Miss USA, I already had a feeling that what do you call this? That she is my presumptive Miss Universe. In fact, I held on to that, to that notion because I was afraid that if at the time that she won, I already posted that she is my predicted Miss Universe winner. I'm sure doon pa lang marami ng um, mga negative comments that could have happened. And that is why I only started posting about Arbony being my presumptive Miss Universe during the Miss Universe season starting last December 23, because I thought that that was the time that it's now safe to let my opinions be known to everybody on who is the girl that I am more likely to put as a winner. And from then on, consistent in my list were Colombia, were Curacao, which everyone, as you've seen, she was in the top five. Consistent din si Puerto Rico na on the wings of my list. And Amanda and Arboni never left my top two, top three spot. It has always been the two of those girls who I thought would probably be the strongest girls that could win Miss Universe. And we were proven right with the results nowadays. And this only goes to show that just because there are people who have different opinions than you have, sana naman matuto din yung mga fans to be a bit more, you know, um, to be more intelligent and kind and not be very rude when uh, hindi namin nilalagay o hindi ko nilalagay ang Pilipinas sa top of my list. Miss Universe is a different ball game as a whole. This is the most competitive pageant, and that is why I spent time looking at individual profiles of the girls, learning more about the girls, and understanding their backgrounds, where they came from, what are the things that they can talk about in their reigns. That is based on their profiles. I spent, literally, I think around 2 days, um, uh, just reading all of their profiles. Granted that I was not able to completely get the full picture with Laos, with Canada, and Haiti. But majority of the girls that I talked about, that I discussed on my social media, on my blog, or on live stream, lahat sila nag-perform. And they were the girls that consistently, did well in the competition. To the fact that the girls na I posted, the last time that I posted about my good luck na mga girls, marami sa kanila nakapasok sa 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 top 16, and lahat and again, hindi naman sa pagmamayabang, but I was able to find consistent na placement doon sa mga top girls ko doon sa pageant. So there. Oh, dami ko nang nabanggit. Bauhan, saying Vietnam, I felt for Vietnam because she trained here in the Philippines with Coloy Buendia. I am glad that the Lotus hand movement was something that became viral in Vietnam because knowing Kaloy or Carlos for you guys to to be more familiar with. Nickname niya kasi sa amin is Kaloy. Kaloy Buendia is one of those pageant trainers that would incorporate, dance movement when it comes to his pasarela training. And I was really very happy that she did that as well for Ngok Chao. Um, where were we? Joanna Maris Marin, that's the reason why CG remains the gold standard. Joanna, I don't think that Catriona Gray is the gold standard. I think she is the standard. Ibig sabihin, every Miss Universe after her, even some Miss Universe before her, they are all going to be measured against Catriona's scale. So she's not just the gold standard; she is the standard. So anything that Catriona did during her, her time at Miss Universe, everybody would start to copy. And I would understand why certain countries, like Thailand, has been constantly being criticized that they've been a copycat of Catriona because Catriona set the measure so high that she actually became the measure. So it makes sense that a lot of countries would be looking at the way that she competed and look at her for pointers on how to perform or how to mount a pageant campaign successfully. So it makes sense that a lot of people should be looking at her because she is the standard. Um, Hajiev, I give it to Miss Universe organization for standing by their criteria, even if the big pageant markets in Southeast Asia will be affected or offended. I give it to Anne for being brave. Agree on that, 100%. Lemon 23.5, congratulations by the way kay Arbony. In a way, hindi naman tayo umuwi luhaan dahil half Filipina ang naging Miss Universe. Here's the danger with that because she is half Filipina. There is a possibility, a strong possibility that us Filipinos would claim her as our own. And I think it's it's something that we should be very careful to do that, na gawin yon kasi hindi rin maganda pakinggan na ngayon natin siya na kiniklaim kung kailan tapos na yung competition at siya ay nanalo instead of, inumpisahan natin siyang tawag nito, i-suportahan way before she competed at Miss Universe. So, ingat lang tayo because I don't want that people or other foreign countries would criticize us for that. So, let's just be careful, okay? Um, JZA, if I may remember right, you mentioned Venezuela and USA, strong on credentials. Yes, we did, because both girls really had this, very strong sustainability thrust in their wardrobe, in their journey. That is why I am really very happy because two women who ended up as the top two in Miss Universe this year have fashion backgrounds. And you know naman how I feel about that because being an educator myself, I teach, uh, I teach on several universities and schools here in the Philippines about fashion. And one of the more interesting classes that I have taught, one of the most interesting subjects that I actually handled is clothing production that emphasizes on sustainability and zero waste management. So I'm really very happy that these two women are able to to showcase and give an illustration of something that I have been teaching on the conceptual level and see them do it actively in their wardrobe, whether or not people are saying that it's too tacky, it's too DIY or it's too sexy. It's the ownership of their sustainable practices that really impressed me that much with regards to Amanda and Arbany. And, mad props for that. Um, Vice Panda, is it true, Sir Jason, USA put the phrase force for good on her profile? Even before the Miss Universe owner mentioned about those phrases as new vision or goals. If that's the case, that's really fake. Yes. And the good thing here about the full phrase that I was so glad she mentioned during her final Q&A was that she mentioned fashion as a force for good. And look at the timing of that, uh, posting of her profile on the Miss Universe or Miss Universe website versus, yung pag-release ng bagong crown. Nauna yung profile bago ni-release um, yung pangalan ng new crown. And that would really, cement anyone who is watching, looking at their profiles with with lens, eh, would be really very impressed that ganun na lang ka ka-determine ang destiny to bring the crown to her. So parang it was fate just tying it up together. Kaya when I saw her profile, I was like, okay, this is really the Miss Universe that we're looking for. So wag na tayong maghanap. Kasi this is the kind of girl that will really shine through because um, it's the universe working around her to make her win. Diba? So, Mr. Mental, could MUPH over manufactured CC's background? She has different advocacies before, including eco causes for Miss Earth, but it disappeared for Miss U. Feels like her causes were built around the pageant. I don't know the inner workings of the organization, Mr. Mental, unfortunately, because I don't cover the Miss Universe Philippines na pageant, and it's it doesn't have the same ano it doesn't I don't have the same relationship with them as I would have with the Binibining Pilipinas organization. So I really have no idea how they are, you know, building what are their plans, how they execute their plans in terms of building, the brand of the candidates that we send under their management. Um, Chris Saligan, thank you for reading my comment, but this is not my first time here. Napapanood po ako, nanonood po ako sa inyo from time to time. Thank you, Chris Saligan. Thank you for that kasi this is the first time that I've encountered you commenting. So maybe it was just me overexcited na na-overlook ko yung ibang mga comments ninyo. Okay? Rio ka, Celeste might be the first Miss Grand International. Well, we'll wait and see. For me kasi parang who wants to be crowned, a derivative of the Miss Universe na pageant. Kasi ultimately din naman ang MGI, it's the poor man's Miss Universe. So, third for Marn. USA is my winner, but I'm expecting CC to be second runner-up. JZA says, ano bang advocacy ni Celeste during Miss Earth? Tinuloy ba niya ang advocacy niya na yun even though hindi siya nanalo? Is it the same advocacy during Miss Universe or she has a new advocacy manufactured by NUPH? I don't know what happened doon. Honestly, I don't know what happened doon sa advocacy ni Celeste after her stint at Miss Earth. I was hoping na sana she was able to continue that because as you can see, yung batchmate niya, si Telma Madeira of Portugal, she made top 16. So maybe if Celeste, was able to pull that eco-conscious Miss Earth nature-friendly advocacy of hers and brought it in Miss Universe together with her work with Mind Nation and Save the Children Philippines, then I think that would have been a more authentic, more strong na social causes that she could have worked for, advocated for, etc. Um, Lemuel 23:5. The Philippines should work harder in giving our best to come back stronger for 2023. Take a look back in the training, fix what needs to be fixed so that this does not happen again. Agree. Look at Thailand. They are now strike two with no placement in the semis. Let's not make that be us. So recalibrate and revitalize. Agree, Lemuel, kasi we need to be like Venezuela. Like, katulad ng nabanggit ni Mark earlier, every time Venezuela misses the cut, they return back stronger. And I think that's, something that we should try to look forward to in the next edition, to learn from our experiences and find ways to correct the errors and the mistakes that we've done in the past and learn from the experience as well. Dorothy Lee Jones, whether it be showbiz or married life, wishing Celeste a lot of happiness. Thank you for representing us. Agree. Her pageant journey might not have ended the way that we wanted. Because we were all expecting na kahit man lang sana top 16, I don't think that was asking too much from the Miss Universe organization to make our girl, make top 16. However, there are definitely learning experience that need to be learned. But I don't think it would take away from Celeste because I think she has a bright future ahead. She is one of the, or if not the most commercially viable Miss Universe Philippines winner. She has a very commercial face. She has a very modeless body. So I don't think that in terms of her career, magsasuffer yon or it would take a dip. I think that it was just not her destiny to become Miss Universe. So perhaps we should just be thankful that she represented us well, and that she showed the kind of personality that we need a girl to be unbothered. Okay, so um, we've already been talking for quite some time now, so let's try to wrap it up. Mga huling comments na lang tayo. So, Lemuel 2035, I felt, uh, sorry, ang sabi ni Lemuel was, ang feeling ko, the judges didn't see Celeste's advocacy as her own, since the advocacy of hers, Save the Children, has always been with Miss Universe Philippines since 2020 and not hers. Mr. Mental says, I cannot help but think that maybe Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam were being scolded for cyberbullying. So if that is the case, then fans, whether it's from any of these countries, should learn to coexist peacefully with each other, not to gaslight each other into fights, into bullying each other or bullying the candidates, the girls, the national directors, or even even the, the teams behind the girls. This is a learning experience, sabi ko nga. JZA, mahirap tanggapin kasi unplaced tayo this year. Andrew is saying Catriona needs to be a part of the NUPH team. Ayan. All points, very well taken, very intelligent points, lahat ng mga nabanggit ninyo. But ultimately, I think the lesson here is that change is constant, and we need to be able to adapt to these changes, and be able to pivot immediately as soon as we've seen these changes coming in. We need